the past few years, we have seen some very terrible takes on social media, and one person who constantly is yapping online very loudly about his opinion is Stephen King. And while he has created some great content over the years, some very classic books, unfortunately, he now has put his hat into the ring when it comes to the Marvels and blamed its failure on haters and toxic fanboys. I have a few different things to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, follow me on social media, and consider supporting through Patreon or via YouTube memberships. So I wanted to start with this InsideTheMagic.net article, and then we'll be going to some tweets, but it says, despite not actually being a fan of the MCU, horror novelist Stephen King is standing up for Nia DaCosta's latest outing, The Marvels, after the comic book sequel suffered the worst opening weekend in franchise history, blasting the adolescent fanboys who were rooting for its failure at the box office. Now, I have talked about The Marvels a lot on this channel. I went to see it. It was a truly terrible movie. There was really nothing redeeming in this film, and it deserves to have the worst opening weekend in franchise history because it is one of the worst films in the franchise. And unfortunately, we have people like Stephen King putting his hat into the ring, trying to discuss it, but he does not even care about the MCU. He has never liked the MCU, and in fact, he has attacked comic book films several times over the years, but he is going to bat for Nia DaCosta, trying to defend her film, saying it's only haters who are rooting for its failure at the box office. Now, I'll be honest, I wanted this film to fail to a certain degree, but I wouldn't have if I knew it was going to be good. We all figured it was going to be a cringy feminist movie, and that's pretty much what it was, and it had nothing redeeming about it. But if it was good, I would be like, wow, this is actually really awesome. I take back all the bad things that I said leading up to release, but that just didn't happen. They did not prove us wrong. It says, though, it's no secret that Marvel Studios has found itself in hot water recently, having mostly failed to replicate the same magic that made its critically acclaimed Infinity Saga so unforgettable. The MCU died at Endgame. That is it. That is the end. It is over because all of the projects we have gotten after that have been bad, except for WandaVision. I thought that the theme of it was unique. The start of it was pretty good, but then they just tried to go the typical MCU route. They didn't bring in Doctor Strange that we all expected. The villain was very lackluster. I thought that that was interesting, but that's basically it. We've also got the Spider-Man No Way Home film that was pretty good, but we're talking about two out of many different products here. I mean, we've had She-Hulks, we've had Miss Marvels, we've had The Marvels. These are all films and shows that are mediocre. The article does go on, though, to point out what he said. Horror mastermind Stephen King recently chimed in on the seemingly non-stop internet discourse surrounding the Marvels, asking the very valid question of why so-called MCU fans are so desperate to see the movie tank at the box office. Now, here is his tweet thread. It says some of the rejection of the Marvels may be adolescent fanboy hate. You know, yuck, girls. He has not seen this movie. He has said several times that he does not care about the MCU, he does not like the MCU or comic book films, but he still feels the need to make this post. And again, Stephen King has made some great work over the years, but he has also had some very bad takes, and he is getting absolutely destroyed on this thread. I actually made a tweet saying, this movie simply sucked, and it's got 400 likes. Which is pretty hilarious. Nerdrotic asked, did you watch The Marvels? No, he clearly didn't, because he just wants to pretend that he's, like, supporting this female-led product because all of the main stars are female. Of course, we've got Monica Rambeau, Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel. Then you've got the villain who's a female. You've got Valkyrie who makes a very short appearance. Like, this is a very female-centric movie, and he just wants to say, look, I'm supporting it, when he doesn't actually know anything about it. People are saying, since you don't go to see MCU movies and don't care for them, that means you rejected the Marvels, right? Does that mean you hate women? Here's his tweet. I don't go to MCU movies, don't care for them, but I find this barely masked gloating over the low box office for the Marvels very unpleasant. Why gloat over failure? Because we have been screwed over time and time and time again. Marvel doesn't care, / Disney does not care about our feedback, so we are going to gloat that this movie failed because it is time that they learn that they need to start making better content, that narrative-driven content, feminism-filled films are not going to work anymore, that these are not going to be successful, that people are over giving them chance after chance after chance just to basically steal our money and give us crap. Lauren Chen said, I am a woman. I saw the movie. It was bad. The Marvels was so bad, I longed for Barbie. Or maybe the movie just sucked. There are easier ways to admit you had ghostwriters for your books, or it's just bad. Well, I reject your hypothesis. People are just pointing out the problems with the tweets that he is making. He should have never come out and said that I don't like the MCU if he's going to talk about the MCU, because it's not just adolescent fanboy hate. I'm a woman. I am someone who has loved the MCU for many years, and I absolutely hated this movie. But of course, this is not the first bad take that he's had. Of course, back in 2022, Stephen King still can't understand Trump supporters. We've got this tweet, or at least article that points out tweets. From 2019, horror icon Stephen King blasts Trump bully ragging, racist, overweening, and of course, he said that about all of Trump's supporters as well, but there are more than just, one or two reasons why this film failed. The Marvels bombed at the box office with worst opening weekend in MCU history. Their marketing was very poor. The cast of characters is very poor. And then once you actually saw the movie, you get into the awful costumes, the musical number, which made absolutely no sense, the cringy jokes. It's just not a good movie overall. Stephen King is just a raging SJW who has tried over the years to look cool and hip with the kids, like he's following the social trend, so he makes tweets like this, but then gets absolutely destroyed because none of the people that he's trying to appeal to are actually supporting him. If you scroll through this, it's not positive. There are no positive comments here saying, you know what, you're right, I completely agree with you. There's absolutely nobody sitting here defending him. And, it's unfortunate for him. It's hilarious to me. But Stephen King has posted this extra bad take on social media about the Marvels, saying it's only adolescent fanboys who hate this movie because yuck girls, which is just so absurd. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this and of course found it important and informative, make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.